Hello, this is National Chess Master Coach Bill, chess.com. I'm covering some games I played in a simul the end of March, and been behind getting these done. The initial video I tried to make was a disaster, so now I'm finally getting caught up. And there's a game against Willy, a long-time regular in my club. Nice guy. Okay. So anyway, he's going to play the Scots Gambit, and now if it's strange, if takes and takes and takes, blah, blah, blah. Black actually does very well with this in tournament practice. I think the stats are something like 75% in his favor. So he plays the proper move. Now, at some point, I'm going to run out of what I remember on book, and I'm not going to dig it up here. That's your guys' job. You got to research these openings. Uh, so I'm kind of like going under instinct more than anything. I'm pretty sure that's the correct move. And now he takes here, and I've got minor threats down here, and I just cover that. And now he gives up the bishop pair, so I have the two bishops. That's what I got out of this. And, for what it's worth, black is actually even ahead in development. I have two minor pieces out, he has one. So, we'd have to say this position is even. Now he evicts my knight from his fine square. And he chases it again. But now this pawn is a little exposed. And so it seems like right about here is where he started to lose the thread of what was going on. It has to do with the potential pin on the A file. So he defends, and now I play A5. Uh, and I'm attacking B4 twice. So probably what white needs to do in this position is just take the bull by the horns, capture, and hope that I don't have enough pressure on this A file. So because if he loses this A pawn, black's not only going to be a pawn ahead. These, even though these are double, these pawns are going to be coming up the board at some point. So his alternative would be, after that would be, just to try to launch a kingside attack. But to some degree, I've got pieces over on that side of the board ready to help out, and he's still got a couple sitting at home. So, black should be okay. But in a simul, when you have, I think I was playing about 20 games at the time, so you have 20 times as much time as I do. You can maybe work something out. So now this just blunders a pawn because I'm able to take. And his basic problem here is that he still got the passed A pawn, but now I have a couple passed center pawns and one to help out if I need it. So he defended his rook, and I have to save my bishop. And here comes his attack. So how to deal with this? I have to make decisions kind of quickly. I don't have all that much time to think. So I elected to go ahead and play F5. Now that gives a couple of concessions. It depends on what white's going to do. The first idea is if he takes, well, I can live with this. Suddenly I've got pressure. This bishop has been activated. I've got some pressure here. Now I do weaken my E6 square, but he's not necessarily going to take. I have given white a protected passed pawn. So we both have already at move 17. We both have two passed pawns, but I have it blockaded, and these pawns are going to try to advance, and I do believe I missed something by not advancing one of them shortly. And I have hemmed in my light squared bishop a little bit, but I have a light squared bishop. He doesn't. This bishop will find a way to come into the game at some point. It may get into A6. I may put it on B7. It may go to E6 at some time, advance the pawn, and it comes into D5. I mean, it's got a lot of potential that I have to work on. So here he plays Queen C1, and I notice there's an unprotected piece, so I play queen b8. He develops and protects it. And now I've got my queen kind of active. And we do a swap. Yeah, but here's where I definitely missed c5. I don't know what I was thinking. Well, I'm not thinking much. But I played e6, bishop e6, and now queen c3. So we're about to come to a critical point here where he overlooked a little trick of mine, and I didn't see it at first. Like, in a way, playing a Sam, I'm fortunate I saw it. But in theory, I've looked at enough chess that sometimes I can solve a tactical problem quickly. Okay, so trying to activate my rook, blockades his pawn. Now I do have a threat. My threat is to take the bishop and then pin his queen. So he counterattacks my queen, and I just park the queen back here. More pressure on a3, and now here's where he missed an interference move. Okay, so if you want to try to solve it, I've given you a clue. You can pause the video and come back and right time. Okay. But you see, interfering, the queen is defending the bishop. So if I can cut off the queen's protection of the bishop, I can win that guy. So the move is rook c4. And now he's able to take my rook, but his problem is now I can pick up his bishop with check, and if he, let's see, he could play knight to e3. He didn't. The problem with this move is this remains pinned, and if anything, I can just, at some point, I can push d4. Let's see. Let's build up the pressure first. If rook here, I just push. So yeah, I have to defend my bishop first. That's right. Yeah, I have to. I can't push d4 right away. The bishop falls. But I just play queen a7, and after rook e1, d4, and then I'm going to have a monster pass pawn. And here, the light squared bishop did get activated, like something I've been wanting to do. Okay, so let's back this up. So he's in check. He went there, and now I've got two bishops versus rook. Now I have some triple pass pawns. It's rare that it's common you see double pawns, but it's rare you see triple pawns. But they're all very strong defensively. I mean, just look at the 6 squares these guys cover, and well, I missed. They don't cover these. I apologize, but my bishop is covering those, and I've got a permanent spot to park my bishop here, and then maybe it'll come into e4 at some point and even park itself on d3. So, and my bishop on c5 is pretty much immune from pressure, and in an open position, two bishops are just they just torture a rook, and here the bishops have gotten active, so black has a clear advantage. So he sees the open file, and I see there's an open file too. I'll go grab this one. If I vacate, I just have to make sure there's no nasty tricks down here that can ruin my day. So he came over here, trying to generate something, anything. And then here I eliminate the possibility of him opposing me on the B file. So I'll just take it. And there I've got what I want. I got the bishop on the nice square. So he gives himself a little room on the back rank. And I got a pass pawn. Let's just push it. That pawn's going to go to c2. And I'll put my bishop on e4. And he's not getting rid of that pawn. It's just going to be a thorn in his side. A thorn pawn. And then here he overlooks that I can just trade my queen for the two rooks. And a rook and two bishops against a queen are virtually unstoppable. So C2, he's going to run out of checks very, very quickly. So he's out of checks right here. Okay, and I'm going to have a new queen on the board, so he resigned after I pushed to C2. So let's just back it up for a moment. This is the point where he played B4. What else can White do here instead? Well, one form of logic says if you're not sure what to do, develop a piece. So he can play the knight to C3. Okay, and here the idea is that this knight will try to find its way over to the king side if he tries to conduct a mating attack. Okay. Knight to D2 makes a little less sense, although it could work out. The idea here would be he wants to push F4 and maybe swing the rook up and over before he brings the knight out. But I have two good bishops over here that are covering a lot of territory. So some of those squares he might like to plant his rook are going to be a little off limits. So the game appears to be even. Black has double pawns, but he has an isolated A pawn, but Black has the two bishops in compensation. So Black seems to have equalized. Could he have done anything else? Well, it goes back to this position. Another idea is just take this right here and preserve the bishop pair, and then meekly bring the bishop back to E2. Now here, White didn't lose the bishop pair, but to me, Black looks okay here. Black's head in development. Black could just play bishop C5, and White needs to castle. And I don't know. Can I? Maybe this E pawn is running into trouble. Maybe queen down here is playable, trying to induce some weaknesses in White's position. So, what else can White do here? See, we know that this is the correct move, and I'm pretty sure this is the correct move, and this, and after this. Another idea is, don't even take, let's just castle. Okay, now the point is, if knight takes, bishop takes, queen takes, but, Black is getting some development here. Bishop C5. And the black pieces are springing to life. And, White's queen side is a little undeveloped. So, it's the thing about the Scotch gambit. See, the reason it's a gambit is because White's not taking it on this turn. So, maybe to play it in true gambit style, go ahead and castle here. Don't go in for this line. All that stuff's been analyzed before. It's a whole new ball game. We're just looking for variations to try. Or, let's try and offer a different pawn. Get some development. That could be a choice. I'm sure all this stuff has been tried and tested, and it's in the books, which you guys need to look up if you want to learn openings. Well, I thank you for looking at this. Good game by Willy. If I don't find that, let me just think of that. Maybe I'll ring a bell in my head. Okay. I found rook c4, but not right away, but I did find it. So, since my bishop is loose, what if I take? Is this any good for me? Now, it looks like I could steal this pawn. So maybe this is good for me too. So apparently, yeah, this looks fine for Black. The e5 pawn is exposed. Let's back this up. So apparently, he's trying to prevent this, but which I've missed. So it kind of comes back to his b4. It just ended up weakening his position. Oh well. Thanks all for watching. Take care.